this is Brett of filterAfan, and I just want to do a short video here. We've had some folks ask and question about the safety of filterAfan and how well will the fans hold up, and I'm just going to speak from personal experience how it's worked for me. Whether it's safe or not, I guess you need to make the judge of that. I guess if I were in your shoes, I would question if it was a box fan and it pulled in a lot of dust in the filter, might it bog the fan down? It probably does, but I've been running fans for 2 or 3 years, and I typically run the fans 24 hours a day. And today I'm just going to show you one of the fans that I've had running down here for the past few weeks. It's basically run probably about 80% of the time. When I'm not down in the shop here, I will typically leave it running on low. And what I do is if I'm running a piece of power equipment or doing some sanding, I'll turn it on high and let it do some filtering. So that's all. The only purpose is I want to show you one of the fans that I've got down there and how the filter's kind of plugged up, and take it from there. Maybe first, before we get started, I can kind of take you a little tour of my shop, my basement shop down here. It's where I do a lot of the development work, not only on filterAfan, but I do some work in advanced composites and things like that. This is my drafting table. It's kind of buried now with some composite materials over here. Let's see, I got tool bench and a workbench over here, and behind me over here I'm inside that styrofoam. I've got some composites curing, and I just like to do a lot of tinkering. Got some tools over there, and got another workbench over here. It's where I try to do my dirty work if I'm doing some sanding or oily or greasy stuff. See, I've got a scroll saw right over here. Haven't used it too much. Got it covered up, but it's a nice scroll saw. Over here is where I create a lot of dust. I've got a spindle sander here, but over here in this corner of my basement, I do have a computer and some radios equipment. Ham radio is one of my hobbies. I haven't been too active on it, but I do all this work down here with computers. So the filterAfan helps quite a bit. Here's my major source of dust is a Shopsmith. It's an antique Shopsmith. It's a 1953 Shopsmith. It does a great job. So I've got a bandsaw over here. It makes some dust, and then right above the bandsaw, we're going to come back to that. Is that's a filterAfan I've got hanging up there. I've got it shut off because of a noise. But then over here, I got a drill press, and got a bench grinder, and got another sander over here. So what I typically do when I'm running power equipment is I will turn on the filterAfan and just let it rip and see what it catches. So let me turn it back on and turn some light on over there so you can see it a little better. We're going to take the filter out. That filter's been in there for it's been about 3 or 4 weeks, and been basically running almost 24/7 since I put it in there. Lighting is terrible down here in my shop. I basically have lighting at each of my power tools. I don't have a lot of extra lighting. Most of my power tools is old antique stuff. I kind of like fixing up and maintaining. But back above me is the front of the filterAfan, and as we go around the other side here, I've got one of my lights from my saw there tipped up so you can see it. But I don't know if you can see how dirty that filter is. I would not recommend that. That filter is a lot dirtier than what you probably should have. Let me start it up here for you. Okay, I've got the filterAfan, the fan basically running on full speed right now, and you can see this filter, how dirty that is. In fact, there's even some dust that came out the other end because this filter is way beyond its expected life. So I'm going to turn the fan off and take the filter out so you can just see how dusty it is. Incidentally, I forgot to mention that this fan I have had running, like I say, about 3 weeks. I have ripped I don't know how many feet of 2x4s I built dog houses, and I ripped some 2x4s to make the laths, or not laths, but siding, simulated siding for the outside of some little dog houses. I've ripped plastic, sanded, and so it's got a lot of crud on it. Let's take a look at it. It's going to work, me trying to hold the camera and take this apart at the same time, but I want you to get a feel for how dirty this filter is here. I think you can kind of see some of the dust coming off. Again, I would not recommend it. This is crazy. But I did this just to show people how well these little fans work. I can smell all the dust now, but take a look at this filter here. It's just basically caked. You can see my hand here with dust. So again, I don't recommend you leaving a filter in that long. And then this is a prototype filter that I was testing. It's probably more efficient than most other filters. And I did that so we could bog the fan down as much as possible. I did call the manufacturer here some time back about using this on their fans, and they did say that there is a fusible link in the fan there somewhere, that if the fan bogs down too much, the fan's just going to quit. That fusible link burns up and the fan stops. So, but again, as far as safety, you be the judge of that. You know, I've got everything hooked up on circuit breakers, so if it did bog down, if the circuit breaker didn't work, the fusible link didn't work, the circuit breaker would kick it off. But you need to be the judge of whether it's safe for your shop or not. But again, you can see the amount of dust that we had here, and how well it works. And incidentally, if you're not hanging your filter fan up, I would strongly recommend that. So we're going to put a new filter in here and give you a chance to see it work with a new filter. Okay, the filter we're going to put back in the filterAfan is the same one that we send out with the new units, and it's a Purolator. Let's see the model number. It's a 16x16x1 Purolator 312. I don't know if you can see that there, but this filter is a good filter. It's going to filter out most shop dust, hobby, stuff like that. It's not a MERV rated filter. MERV is a rating for small airborne particles. If you want a MERV rated filter, there's a MERV 7 and a MERV 11, and they may even go up from there, but you don't really need to go up to beyond a MERV 11. A MERV 11 is like for filtering out stuff from pollen, little tiny microscopic stuff from the air. So we're going to pop this filter in there, and it's kind of neat when you put your filterAfan up on the side like that. And I'm fortunate enough to have a high ceiling here in my basement, but you reach up here and put it in there just like that and turn it on, and that's all there is to it. I apologize for the lighting, but that's how well it works. Hey, incidentally, look at my table on my saw here. When we took that filter out, all that dust that fell out of that filter. So she sure does work, and it works great hanging it up. For years I've used my filterAfan just sitting on the floor. And like you, many of you, I've probably taped filters on the back of it. I've wire tied them, and I thought, you know, there's got to be a better way. Wire ties are a pain. It's kind of, I would leave the filter in there longer than what I should have, because the filters were a pain, but this makes it real easy. So that's just a quick update from filterAfan, kind of a little tour of the shop here where I developed some of the products and make some of the tooling for the prototypes, as well as some composite material. So thanks for watching, and we appreciate your business. Bye-bye.